Welcome to the AFC West Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things AFC West. From the best creators in the division, including Denver Broncos creator Ryan, Kansas City Chiefs creator Marcus, Las Vegas Raiders creator Samoan, and Los Angeles Chargers creators Bolt Bros. Catch the AFC West Roundtable every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on the AFC West Roundtable YouTube channel. AFC West Roundtable, welcome back into another episode. It's your usual suspects back at it again. Same time, same place, and we are here to break down everything that happened in Week 10 and, of course, preview what these guys are expecting to happen in Week 11. Some teams came out on top. Some teams continue to stay at the bottom, and some teams were on a bye week. So much to get into with today's episode on the way, and make sure you guys slam that like button and let us know what team you're representing in the comment section below. Of course, let's go around the table. Let's see how these guys are doing now heading into Week 11. Ryan, let's start off with you, man. I mean, I feel like it's every single week. I saw this stat where it's like the Denver Broncos are one of the worst teams in the NFL through 3 quarters, but you're a top 3 team in the 4th quarter. It's just close wins you guys are getting here.
Well, I mean, I would say last week was not that case, and we actually had a touchdown earlier in the game, and we were just shit the whole game because the 4th quarter didn't look good either. But I mean, like, we're at the top of the AFC West right now, so I'll take it. We're playing Kansas City this week, but, you know, it definitely doesn't feel like we're at the top, or like it doesn't feel good right now. Defensively, everything's great. It's just offensively just so poor, and felt like the Colts Broncos game from like a couple of years ago on Thursday Night Football. So, you know, I'll take it. We're 8-2 right now, so that's fine with me. We're still winning, but who knows how long it'll last if they don't figure it out.
Ryan, I've seen a lot of discussion going on about social media, and I wanted to ask you this week. It was like my big story. I was like, I got to ask Ryan this on the show. Do you think, or at least is there potential in your mind, trying to put that bias aside as much as you can, that the Denver Broncos are fraudulent? Do you believe in that storyline, that statement?
Like what when you say fraudulent, what do you mean fraudulent?
Like, you look at the Denver Broncos, and they're tied for the best record in the NFL with the Patriots and Colts. They're tied for number 1 in the AFC period. Do you really believe that this is a team that's going to genuinely compete in the postseason? Or is this a team that's like, no, they'll be a first-round exit?
They will compete in the postseason. There's no doubt about that. Like, the defense at least plays like that. And I'll be the first one to tell you, like, I'm not saying, like, we're going to the Super Bowl by any means, but I've seen this before 10 years ago. I saw how, like, we had a poor offense the year that we won the Super Bowl. And I remember middle of the year, I was like, are we even going to do anything in the playoffs? Is there any chance? And then all of a sudden we made it into the AFC Championship game. I'm like, holy crap. Like, how did we just do that? Like, somehow the offense just, you know, would give us a little bit of life. So I don't think they're fraudulent, but they're competitive. I wouldn't say that they're like a juggernaut by any means, being 8-2. Like, they're definitely not rolling like the Patriots offense is right now, but I wouldn't say they're fraudulent. Like, they're going to keep the games close, and it's going to be competitive for the most part, but the offense just has to get stuff together if ultimately we want to be like a more dominant threat, for people to be more intimidated, as opposed to, oh, this is just going to be like an ugly game, because they're not going to let down.
Yeah, and there's a lot of football to still be played too.
I would say a fraud is, like you said, going to be that first-round exit, like we were like last year. Like that, maybe we're a little bit more fraudulent, but we also only had 10 wins this year. We're already at 8. Probably can get more than that. So I'd say we're right where we're at. You know,
potentially win the AFC West too. So definitely trending in the right direction. Andrew, let's go on over to you, man. How you feeling?
Look, man, if we play that way every week against the Steelers, man, I think we can compete with just about anybody. I mean, I felt like that was the most convincing win this week in the AFC West, personally, right? I mean, the Broncos and the Raiders had one of the ugliest Thursday night football games ever recorded, right? Pretty boring. And then the Chiefs, you know, they were on their bye, getting healthy and all the above. But, man, the Chargers look good. The defense is finally showing up. I think we only gave up 1 touchdown in 2 games, which is absolutely incredible. So, look, I think the offense is clicking in kind of its own way. It's a little bit clunky in some ways, but, man, I mean, the running game is going. Kamani Vidal's doing well. If we could play this way consistently, which I think we've struggled with all year, first 3 games we look good, then we kind of had this roadblock, you know, bump. But look, if we just keep playing the way we played this last week, I just bottom line think we're going to be absolutely unbeatable moving forward, right? So, again, I think at this point, this team should know who they are. They should understand the offense. They should understand the defense. I feel like they're clicking, right? Now, can they keep doing it is what I'm hoping for. And there's my boy, a theory, threw in a little super chat. So I'm excited to see what we can do. Bottom line, I'm definitely feeling great about that game. And don't like the Steelers a whole lot. So I'm kind of glad we embarrass them. By the way, Aaron Rodgers had a passer rating of almost, I think it was like 19.5 at the end of the game. It was horrible. One of his worst games he's ever had. And so, the Chargers look good. If they can just keep playing that way, we'll be in fine shape moving forward.
The reemergence of Kenny Pickett is what looked like was going on in that game, man. I mean, I don't know, Andrew. I might be the Chargers' good luck charm because I haven't really watched a whole lot of Chargers games this season. But I was like, let me sit down. Let me watch this game. And every time I was watching the TV, the ball was going into the defense's hands. I mean, what a great performance and a momentum boost there for the Chargers. But your boy did drop a super chat. Big shout out to him. He says, "Let's go Chargers." Hi, Andrew. Denver will get smoked this week by KC. Chiefs 31, Broncos 17, Chargers 34, Jags 14. Oof. Let's go Herbie, man. It's that Madison beer effect, man.
Yeah, that's right. No, thank you, Aether. You're awesome.
That's our guy right there. Marcus, let's go down to you, man. You're on the bye week, but just in general, how you feeling about not just your team, but just feeling about the West?
Man, the NFL this week was a lot of rough watches of games. We were just talking about that before we came on, but like last night was rough. I mean, even the Chargers game, the first half of that game was a stinker. I mean, it was like a baseball game after midway through the second quarter, 3-2. And then the Thursday night game, real barn burner between the Broncos and Raiders. I mean, it's a lot bad. It was bad football, I would say. But I will say, at least with the Chargers, they have their entire team's like injured and depleted, and they still kind of rolled off a big win like that, and kind of extended it in the fourth quarter. But it was nice to just be able to watch football stress free this weekend and not have to worry about the Chiefs, must win games or whatnot. But it was nice just to sit back and watch. But I seen the Broncos and having to kind of look at that game, and we'll talk about that more. It's just 8-2. It's probably the ugliest 8-2 I've seen, at least this year. Yep. It reminds me a lot of like the Chiefs last year, how we were able to sneak by a lot of wins. But the Bo Nix, man, the stuff we talked about in the preseason being a sophomore slump, it's kind of coming to fruition here. It looks really bad. I mean, I'm seeing people already talking about Broncos potentially taking a quarterback in next year's draft in round 1.
That was Colin Cowherd, and he's a dumbass. So he's a dumbass.
No, but I have seen a lot of Broncos fans say that as well, like on Twitter, saying no matter how we finish, we still need to at least look at a quarterback to potentially replace him.
I haven't seen any of that.
And there are some studs in there, and I've told some Broncos fans to kind of get used to some of these.
They're also probably the people that wanted to keep Russell Wilson. So every fan base has their idiots.
No, it's true.
But he hasn't played well, though. He hasn't played well.
I mean, you can't deny.
I would say for the majority of the season, like he's played fine for me, not great, but fine. But then the past 2 weeks has been poor. I won't deny that. I'd say the past 2 weeks specifically against the Cowboys. I mean, granted, they're the worst defense in the NFL, but he looked great, as he should. They're the worst defense in the NFL.
The one thing I have noticed in arguing with a lot of Broncos fans online this week is you guys praise your defensive line, which is amazing. But then on the other hand, you guys praise your offensive line. But you've been on this show kind of saying that you think your offensive line is kind of overrated.
Yeah, they are in terms of like protection. Like, I mean, part of it was definitely on Bo, but I don't know if you guys saw, like, he was getting a lot of pressure in his face from the Raiders defensive line as well. Like, he was just off and running, like, right away. I mean, Samoan, I don't know if you saw that.
No, for sure.
And I wouldn't say, like, the Raiders have, like, a super great, like, pass rush, but their pass rush was looking damn near better than ours, at least on passing plays. Running, that was different. We're a good run team, but pass protection, I'd say that's a different story.
Man, don't get me started on that, dude. We got the worst offensive line in the NFL. I mean, ESPN absolutely raked them over the coals on that game. I mean, I'll go through the stats on it. It was ugly. I was like, holy crap, they just blew that offensive line up. So, I mean, I'll just saying Justin Herbert's running for his life all season. So, still getting it done. Kind of.
Yeah, talk about offensive lines, man. Ours is even worse than y'all's.
Maybe that'll be next week's episode.
I will say
2 starters though, but
I will say that there was like definitely a lot of moments where like Bo was running when he didn't need to, or like running towards the pressure because he wasn't feeling comfortable in the pocket when he should have
clock sped up.
Yeah, his internal clock like sped up. that may have made the O-line look bad. But I do remember like looking visually some of the times, like dudes just coming right through. It's like they're like really on and off, like boom or bust. Like they'll have like a really, really good game, or they'll just be, I don't know, just not executing. That's ultimately what it is, just the execution of things. Like they can physically do it, just the execution of things. And that's why I think also Bo isn't performing that well, is because of the execution. Like the playbook Sean threw way more at him this year. I've talked to a couple of like other NFL scouts that I've met through X, and just to get their like take on this, what they've been hearing, they're like, Bo will be fine. Sean just like expanded more of the offense this year, and he's kind of really challenging him right now, and that's why you're seeing like all this. And he says he's not going to simple it down because that would hinder his development. He's gonna put him in the fire. He's putting his face to the fire right now, and this is part of the growing pains with it. This is also, and I mentioned this, I was like, this is the football gods testing Broncos country, because everyone liked to bitch and moan how we selected Bradley Chubb over Josh Allen. I was like, you guys wouldn't have been able to handle the Josh Allen development phase. You guys would have wanted him gone after 1 year, and then. Oh my gosh, the Bills fans got in my comments saying how I was comparing Bo Nix to Josh Allen. I was talking about QB development phases, morons, but whatever.
Well, Marcus, going back down to you, I just want to ask you real quick. Are you worried about the state of the Kansas City Chiefs not winning the AFC West this year? And even more specifically, are you worried at all about your ability to make the playoffs? Obviously, right now, you guys are not in it. You are in the hunt. I've seen a lot of conversation on social media about how this might be the year the Chiefs don't even make it. Do you think that's a possibility?
I mean, it's on the table. We're 5-4. Everything's on the table. The one thing I will say is we do control our own destiny. The team that's number 1 in the division right now. We played them twice. You win both those games. You're back in the thick of things. But yeah, and then one thing I will say when we preview our matchup is the fact that this is a must win for us in a way. That Broncos game is a must win for us. They're 8-2. They can afford to lose a game. But us, we got to come out of the bye week. And Andy Reid, we know his record is coming out of the bye. But coming out of the bye and winning this game against Denver is imperative. I don't think it's all or nothing, but I think it's as closest thing to a must win as there is on Sunday against them. But I'm not worried about us missing the playoffs. I mean, I guess I am worried about it, but I do think with 15 back there, I think we'll make the playoffs at least. I think the chance of us winning the division is still pretty slim, but I believe Vegas still has us as the favorite to win the division, which is interesting.
They do. Yep.
And they've had the Ravens the favorite to win their division for the last 3 weeks, and you see what's happened with there. But yeah, I think as far as making the playoffs, I'm certain we will make the playoffs, but division kind of up in the air on that. But it all starts this weekend, the path to get back there. And we control our own destiny at the end of the day. So,
yeah, it's certainly going to be a big in-division game that we're excited to talk about here later today. Samoan, let's go on over to you. Wrap us up here. How you feeling, man?
Man, I feel better today than I did on Thursday. I think the best thing about it was the fact that we had a long time since that game, and it was on Thursday. We got it over with. Got to enjoy Sunday. Obviously, I'm not at home. I'm in Cali enjoying the weekend and whatnot, Veterans Day and whatnot. So everything's been cool since then. The Raiders being the Raiders as usual, man. Nothing new here. We're still sitting here at the bottom. I don't think we've moved at all on this whole this whole board right here. So, like I said, we're just going week by week. I don't think the Raiders even know what they're doing at this point, but hey, we're going to enjoy the rest of the season and hopefully, I don't know, maybe win some games. But yeah, since Thursday, that game was just bad. And as much as I know Bronco fans that they're going at it with each other, man, Raider fans are doing the same exact thing, pointing fingers at different people. And we just don't have the answers at the end of the day. We just hoping for better days. That's what it is down here.
Put it on your Christmas list, someone. Put wins on your Christmas list and Santa up. Who knows? Maybe he'll deliver it to you. But let's go ahead and let's get into these games. Before we do so, I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of the video over at Sleeper. You guys know them. You guys love them. Use the promo code you see on the screen, RTS, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Now, we do have a big in-division matchup, so I do want to kick this on over to Marcus. I want to kick this on over to Ryan. Marcus, let's start with you. What do you think about Travis Kelce, 45.5 receiving yards? You want to take over or under that?
I'd like it better just over 40 yards. Yeah, I'll do that. There's been some stats over the last, going back to last year. I think he's he's only hit under 40 yards like 3 times going back to like last 12 games. But yeah, I would take the over on that. Yeah.
What do you think about Rashee Rice? Because you guys got him back and he started to cook. He has an anytime touchdown prop here. Do you think that he will get in the end zone?
Yeah, I mean, so far, both games he's been back, score a touchdown. He's leading our team in targets, but both games he's been back. So yeah, I'll do a touchdown there.
All right.
And no Surtain this weekend, correct?
Yeah, no Pat.
Oh, see, there you go. Even better. Even more likely. I like that, Marcus. I like that. Ryan, let's go on over to you. What about Bo Nix? He's at 218.5 passing yards. Do you think he'll get over or under?
I'm going to go over. I think Bo, I won't say like a bounce back game, like he's going to put up 4 touchdowns, but I think he's going to play much better. I think he went out to the mountains over the weekend, clear his mind. So hopefully he'll be able to put up some decent numbers. And I think he'll go over.
All right. What do you think about Cortland Sutton? Longest reception, 20.5 yards. Think he'll get over that?
Shoot, I don't know. This dude can have like no catches one week, but against the Chiefs, I'll go over.
Over that one?
I'll go over on that one. He's just, he is the main target all the time. And against the Chiefs, I think we usually bring our A game most of the time, and we play you guys well. I mean, we play each other well. It's usually pretty competitive games. So, and based on last year, in the actual game against starters, like Sutton was a pretty significant player in that game for us.
Well, Ryan has Sutton with a big play in this game. This is where we kick it off to you guys. What do you think about the parlay that we just built? Let us know in the comment section below. And of course, follow our parlay over on Sleeper. Link in the description box below. But guys, let's go ahead and let's transition on over to these games from week 10. And of course, we do have to start off with the big game in the division that we kind of talked about just a little bit earlier. Denver Broncos ultimately win against the Raiders, but just by 3 points. Ryan, I want to kick this one to you first before we go on to Samoan. How are you guys able to squeak this one out?
The defense and only the defense. I think that's how we got our field goal to go up 10-7 when we should have gotten another touchdown on. I think it was the blocked punt, I believe. The offense really didn't do anything. I think we all know that. They looked atrocious. Bo didn't look good. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys. He didn't look good. That's the reality of it. But I'm not gonna succumb to all of your hate in the comments saying how he sucks and all this stuff. No, I still believe he's our guy. This happens with quarterbacks. You looked yesterday, see like Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love also basically have bad games. I'm not saying he looked exactly like Bo, but there was definitely things Sean Payton could have done better in terms of calling plays. Like it was a 3rd and 1, and he decided to run this goofy trick play that blew up in our face. And so just ridiculous stuff like that when Sean's just, kind of trying to be a little bit too smart and just having to recognize like your guys need simple sometimes. Stop trying all this shit thinking your team's ready for this. Like, just read the room, dog. Read the room. These guys aren't executing. Because it's not just Bo. Sometimes it's the O-line. Sometimes it's the receivers. Them just not being on the same page with the quarterback. It's just not executing. Bo's not executing. Just a lot of guys all over the offense. Because guess what? If Bo does throw a good pass, flag on the offensive line. Flag on someone's pick play, holding, like someone's always doing something. Like that's why it's also hard for Bo to get in a rhythm. And it's not an excuse for him. That's just the reality of what I'm seeing. He does make a good pass, pass gets dropped. They do get a good play, a big run, flag, something. It's always something. I think we're one of the most flagged offenses in the NFL. Is I think a statistic I heard, and I heard the commentators talking about it during the broadcast. We get flagged so often, like it's ridiculous. And it's just sloppy play right now. But credit to the defense. They bailed us out. They even bailed special teams out after our punter was kicking punts off of his shin and shanking them for like 30-yard punts. So yeah, that's how we were able to squeak it out. Defense, and hopefully they don't die at the end of the season like they did last year, kind of, and the year before that. But on to you, Samoan. What'd you see?
Damn it. Every single time. Andrew, I knew you were going to try to take my job one day, man.
Mm-hmm.
I knew you were going to try to take my job. Simone, let's go down to you. What were your thoughts on this game? Because, look, obviously you guys have struggled to win games this season, but nonetheless, you played a very, very close game. You really could have won this game against one of the best teams in the AFC right now.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for us, man, is the fact that we could have won, but we didn't. And it just goes back to the Raiders continuing to be the Raiders. But just like just like Ryan said, our defense held it down for us as well for the most part. And our offense couldn't get anything going after the big penalty that we had. And our two rookie wide receivers that we had really costed us two big plays that could have kept the game going for us. And I felt like all the power was in our hands offensively in the first two drives until that first penalty. And speaking of penalties, I mean, both sides, it was laundry day for both teams, because after almost every single play, we've seen the referees throwing the flag on the Raiders, on the Broncos. It was a boring game at the end of the day. I said it earlier. I think we said it before, that if you're not a Broncos or a Raiders fan, this was a boring ass game. But we had to sit there and watch it, But like I said, the Raiders kept kicking themselves down when we had every opportunity to win this game. And for me, I felt like the Raiders beat the Raiders at the end of the day. And looking at, like I said, the PI that Thornton had that negated the touchdown that we had, and then Jack Besh's holding call that took back Ashton Jensen's big run that could have given us some momentum. On top of that, JPJ going down, Dylan Parham going down, so we get two big blows on the offensive line, and our offensive line's not even good to begin with. So that, on top of Geno Smith not being able to run the offense or just getting a little timid, and the Broncos defense continuing to get to Geno Smith and pressuring him. I mean, he didn't have a good day. We didn't even utilize Brock Bowers out there. He only had 3 targets, 1 reception, most of that in due part because the Broncos defense, but also there was a couple times where Geno Smith just couldn't see him or wasn't looking at him because he always had pressure in his face. You got that on top of our special teams letting us down. Like, I think the only time the only reason why the Broncos got that field goal is because of a block punt that put them in range to score the field goal. Shout out to the defense though for holding it down, bending but not breaking, only giving up 3 points, and all game long offense couldn't do anything. And I know a lot of people can attest to Chip Kelly and his offensive play calling. Horrible in this game. They went away from the run that was working early on in the game, and then once they went right back to the run at the end, we finally drive down the field, get in field goal range. Daniel Carlson, give him a chance to tie the game up, missed the field goal, and special teams has been bad on top of the offense, so that didn't help out, which is why we fired Tom McMahon. I don't know how much that'll help us moving forward. At the end of the day, it was just a tough watch. But like I said earlier, I'm just happy that we got it over with on Thursday night, because our next game is not till Monday night, so we got a long time. It's like a mini bye week. So right now it's just moving forward and seeing what happens next, though.
Let's go ahead and let's go over to the rest of the panel to get their opinions. Andrew, let's start with you. Looking at this game, what were your thoughts and takeaways?
So luckily I only saw the last few minutes of the game, but I always watched the highlights. I'm like, holy crap. Apparently they said this is the worst game in Thursday Night Football history. And I don't deny it, man. I was like, wow, this is a snooze fest. I mean, look, the Broncos had 220 total yards. Raiders 188 total yards. Passing 114 for the Raiders, 136 for the Broncos. Barely any rushing yards. I think J.K. Dobbins got hurt in this game as well, too. I'm curious to hear what the update is on that. But only 10 first downs on each team. Terrible third down efficiency. Well, that's okay. 57, 58 total plays. I mean, just weird. Bunch of punts. 11 penalties on both teams. That's just bad, And look, I mean, it's interesting, and Bo had 2 interceptions, and then Geno only had 1. Time of possession was almost exactly the same. I mean, I think the Raiders gave every opportunity for the Broncos to win. And I mean, the fact that they still lost that game is just shocking to me, right? And it's like holy crap, like, the Broncos just have this lucky rabbit's foot up they what. But bottom line, hey, they got the win. It is what it is. And like I'll just say this. I'll just say one thing. If you're 8-2, you should be playing better than that, right? I mean, and I'm just gonna say it to all the Broncos fans. I know you guys want to walk around and talk about Bo Nix being a great, amazing, all the above and whatever. But bottom line, you need to play like an 8-2 team, especially when it matters, because it matters now. You guys are coming into your hard part of your actual season. You're playing a lot harder teams. You're gonna play the Chiefs twice. They're gonna have every opportunity to beat you guys down. And so it's unfortunate, right? I would like to see you guys be playing better at this point offensively. Defensively, you guys are solid, but offensively, you guys got to figure something out. J.K. Dobbins, if he is out, guys, we know how electric he can be. He was a Charger last year, and he was amazing when he was on the field, but when he was off the field, that run game was way worse, right? So curious to see what happens with that. I'm glad I didn't watch that game. the bits that I did watch, I was very disappointed and bored, and I thought, man, this is just horrible. But look, at the end of the day, it's a win is a win. We'll see what happens, and really, the hope is you're playing good football at the end of the season, right? It doesn't really matter what you just got to get a ticket to the playoffs. You got to start firing all cylinders when you get to the playoffs. Hopefully, you guys get to that point at some point, but we'll see what happens.
All right, let's go down to you, Marcus. Wrap us up with this game. What were your thoughts?
Like I said, it was kind of a rough watch. Like 22 combined penalties between both the teams. Like 11 for both you guys. Really wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously the J.K. Dobbins injury is going to be interesting to see what happens there. I think they're considering putting him on IR. So, gonna love to see what. I mean, I liked R.J. Harvey in college at UCF. I'm curious to see how he does being the every down back with Denver. But yeah, some of the stats in this game were just really jarring for the Broncos offense. I know the Broncos defense is fantastic, 6 sacks, another one of you guys kind of doing whatever on that defense, even without Surtain. But the offense numbers that I saw, they had 4 possessions that ended in negative yards, which I don't think I've ever seen that before. They had 8 possessions in total with 9 yards or less in that game. And the thing is, it's like, sure, there's some defenses that are really good, but this is the Raiders defense, which is not good, which is only a couple weeks ago, 31-0. The Chiefs had their way with them, do whatever they wanted against that Raiders defense. So the fact that this Broncos offense just couldn't do anything at all against this team was pretty jarring. And then I saw another stat here that the Broncos have 1 touchdown in their last 17 possessions. They are one of 2 teams to trail in every game this season. The other team being the Saints.
You're reading off your own post, aren't you?
I am. I get to regurgitate here.
There you go.
And Denver has more 3-and-outs, and I actually miswrote this on my post. I had Carolina on there. They actually have more 3-and-outs than the Tennessee Titans this year. They're one of the worst third down conversion teams in the league this year. The Broncos are. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Hey, go ahead, finish off what you said on there
about Bo Nix.
No.
What do you mean?
What's your prediction on there?
Or the game this weekend?
What does it say? What's the last sentence say?
Oh, I'm actually looking at my Twitter post. What was my? I mean,
Spags hears the Giants rumors. His tail is wagging. He's about to go off this Sunday.
He's about to go off this weekend. Yeah. I think Spags will have a good game this weekend. But yeah, there's those numbers about the Broncos offense. I mean, I just like seeing it's one thing, but then when you look at all these different metrics that kind of go into it on the season, it's like, yeah, like Andrew said, this isn't an 8-2. The numbers I just read aren't an 8-2 team. I mean, it's more along the lines of a Saints team when you're just looking at the offense. Luckily, you guys have the defense. Luckily, the game is played on 3 different phases of it. But man, I mean, I thought we were kind of turning the corner here after that Dallas game with the Broncos. But again, that just shows you how bad the Dallas defense is. That the Broncos were able to do what they want to do against them. But yeah, I don't know. The 8 possessions of 9 yards or less against the Raiders of all teams. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say that that's how bad the Denver Broncos are. I was like, Marcus, watch it, man. The chest back down your throat there for a second, dog.
I'm already hearing it on. I'm already hearing it on Twitter.
Teach their own, Marcus, for sure. But my God, I'm trying to protect you here. Ooh. But all right, let us know your thoughts about this game, guys, in the comment section below. And let's go ahead and let's get into the final game already here from Week 10. Obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs on that bye week. So last game to get in here before we talk about Week 11 and what these guys are expecting to happen there. Andrew, let's kick this one off to you. I mean, what a dominant win by the Chargers here, 25-10 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, another team who, of course, is in the playoff picture here for the AFC. And it feels like the Chargers had all the momentum in the beginning of the season. Guys started to cool down. A lot of inconsistencies, a lot of injuries happen to where you come into this game and people weren't really sure who to take. And you guys kind of cement yourselves as, no, we are a team that does deserve to be in the playoff picture. So how were you guys able to come away with such a dominant win?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because if you look at, by the way, Ryan, I would love the offensive line that you have behind in front of Bo Nix compared to the offensive line we have. By the way, ESPN absolutely eviscerated the offensive line of the Chargers. Let me just read some stats here. PFF rankings. Trey Pipkins, 35 out of 36. Mekhi Becton, 36 out of 37. Austin Deckles, PFF ranking, 38 out of 38. Bradley Bozeman, our captain and center, is 36 out of 36. that's freaking awful. We are literally the worst offensive line in the NFL, and how Herbert and we were able to do anything is shocking. So, again, by the way, I saw firsthand what a good offensive line looks like with the Chiefs, the Colts. Colts looked amazing. I mean, there was no pass protection. I mean, Jones had like the cleanest pocket I've ever seen in my entire life, and Herbert hasn't had that all season. Having said that, the running game worked well. I think Vidal did a great job. I got some interesting statistics to tell you guys as well too. I mean, look, bottom line, 25-10, super dominant. Again, the Chargers are now 7-3, which is great. I think they played great overall. I'll talk more about some of the statistics on this. But again, Aaron Rodgers was 16 for 31 with 161 yards, 2 interceptions, a 35.3 PFF rating. Horrible. It was his worst of 2025. Almost, I think it was his worst he even had last season. He even said as much at the end of the game as well too. But the lone TD came in just junk time, so that number was even higher. At that point, prior to that touchdown, I think they were at I think he was at almost 20 and a half, 19 and a half, something like that as well too. But really the turnovers were big. We had 2 interceptions, Dante Jackson and safety rookie RJ Mickens from the 7th round. Again, it just was an overall great team defensive standing, right? The Chargers just looked really dominant across the board. I mean, team statistically, right? I mean, they just did not give up any yards, which we were really worried about because, I mean, the thing about the Steelers offense specifically is if you look at Aaron Rodgers, he's not throwing the ball deep accurately at all. It's pretty much just checkdowns, 10 to 15 yard passes mostly. So they took that away from him, and that the team just became super one dimensional. And they did a really good job of just stopping the run with a pretty light box. Quite frankly, the Chargers do not blitz hardly at all. They're pretty much just a zone defense, and they didn't do any blitzing for the most part. Maybe a NASCAR package in 3rd and longs. So defensively, they just looked absolutely amazing. And like I said, to your point, Ryan, the Broncos are where they're at because of the defense. Their offense has been very up and down, as we know. The Chargers, if they can continue to play that same defense moving forward, they will be a contender in the NFL for sure. I 100% believe that. Right now, again, they have to continue to do that week in and week out. But, we'll see if they can do that because we've been a bit inconsistent moving forward. The last 2 games look great. I think we only gave up 1 touchdown in the last 2 games. So let's talk about the offense real quick. Rushing dominance. Kamani Vidal looked absolutely amazing. 100 yards. I think he had 25 rushes. I think he had 25 rushes total, I believe is what he had. But for around 100 yards. And did a great job of just controlling the ball and controlling the clock, which is amazing. Historic milestone for Keenan Allen, guys. He caught 950. So he had 2 receptions. 956 reception as a Charger, surpassing Antonio Gates, who was there. So he actually surpassed Antonio Gates for reception leader for the Chargers. Absolutely incredible. He will be in the Hall of Fame, of course. And again, just absolutely amazing. I think at the time of possession, we had 37 minutes. The Steelers only had it for 22. 3rd down conversions were 35%. We looked absolutely amazing. I mean, we had 140 total yards rushing, which is amazing. We did give up 3 sacks. So, and Herbert was hit quite a bit as well too. So it was incredible. But the one other thing I would say too, the pressures were good at times. Look, I just think overall it was just a great win. You could point to a lot of those reasons as to what we did to win that game. But bottom line, they took away everything that the Steelers want to do offensively and pretty much exposed everything that they're bad at defensively. So that's how you win football games. So hopefully we can continue that momentum moving forward.
Going down to you, Marcus. Marcus, do you believe that the Chargers can keep that momentum moving forward? Do you think that this was the change that they needed for the remainder of 2025 to go on some type of run as the postseason does inch closer and closer?
I mean, very well could. It's just like, it's going to be tough. I mean, Herbert got, destroyed during that game. He was awesome that game, but the numbers Andrew just talked about, the offensive line. I mean, he's dealing with some really bad offensive line play, so he needs Alt back. And at what point do you think Alt will be back, Andrew? Do they have a timeline on that?
Out for the season, he's gone.
It's just done for okay. Yeah, so it's so it's just gonna be it's gonna be tough sledding for him. It's not gonna be easy. I mean, even that game, that was a struggle for the first half of that game. And the second half, it kind of opened up the floodgates a little bit. But yeah, it's not gonna be easy at all for the Chargers. So it's tough to buy stock on the Chargers right now. But I will say, you got to give them credit for, pulling together a win like that. I mean, this just shows you the parity in the NFL right now, how strong it is. The fact that the Steelers, who look like dog shit Sunday night against the Chargers, beat the Colts, who everyone's talking about them like they're world beaters. And they come out and look like dog crap against the Chargers on Sunday night. So I mean, it just shows you how strong it is in the league right now, how it just really makes absolutely no sense at all. But I mean, the Chargers, they're dealing with their injuries, like every team is. But the fact that they were able to kind of do what they wanted to do in the second half of that game offensively against the Steelers, and the Steelers did have. I mean, they took their licks on Herbert in that game. 4 or 5 sacks allowed in that game.
5, I believe. Yep.
5. I mean, usually when you see a quarterback take 5 sacks, usually that's on the losing end. But you guys were able to win that game pretty handily. The Keenan Allen milestone at the end of that game, I thought that was interesting. I saw Herbert talking to Allen on the sideline before that drive. I wanted to go back in and make a live bet on Keenan Allen would catch a pass that drive. But no, they turned all that off at the end of that game, all the live betting on that next drive. But yeah, I mean, Chargers should be proud of that game. A lot of people had. I mean, I think I picked the Steelers to win last week. If not, I thought they were going to cover the spread at least. But man, Steelers were a team a lot of people were kind of excited about after that Colts game, and Chargers were able to kind of show people give people reason to doubt the Steelers after that game, and rightfully so. Yeah, Rodgers had no time to do anything back there at all. I gotta say, I think an underrated trade that we'll look back on this season, Andrew, would be the Oweh trade. I mean, he's been phenomenal since you guys got him. So I mean, that's a trade that not a lot of people. It's not a sexy name, but I mean, when we look back at the season, you're gonna look back at that one being like that was a real difference maker for you guys.
Yeah, I'll give one thought to that too, Marcus. He had 0 sacks when he was with the Ravens. He's already had 4. And, wow. and part of the reason being is that he was used really to primarily set the edge with the Ravens. And he came out and said, he's like, look, man, I could do a lot more with the Chargers. And so, he's going to be a free agent, and Chargers got $111 million to spend next year. So they will probably re-sign him, I would assume. And we'll go from there. But one other guy I would say too is Trevor Penning. We did get him right before the trade deadline as well too. Again, he's a very good run offensive lineman, not good at pass protection. So probably better than what we've had so far this year. But I think, someone gets injured, he will easily be the swing tackle. He can pretty much play every position except center. So interesting to see what he does.
Do you think he'll be playing guard or tackle? Getting any indication?
Yeah, so they are saying tackle. So I would assume left tackle or right tackle. Having said that, Austin Deckles, I just did not think play great at all. I think he's one of the worst left tackles in the NFL, but clearly they see something in him compared to Penning at this point. So we'll see what happens.
Right. I mean, third string guy. I mean, you can't really expect the most from that guy.
Exactly correct. Oh no, he was like, so he never really played for the Texans. I think he only played like 1 or 2 games total his whole entire NFL season for the Texans. The Chargers scooped him up at the beginning of the season as a swing tackle. Now he's our starting left tackle, and so. He's a big dude, but he just doesn't move well, so it is what it is.
Well, Simone, let's go on over to you. Give us your takeaways from this Chargers game, and just what are your takeaways about this team now moving forward? Do you think that they can capitalize on a win like this, or is this just you got a good win, congratulations, continue to show me more?
Yeah, I think they definitely can capitalize off of it. Just seeing how well the defense played, and a win like this against a team like the Steelers, like we previously mentioned, beating the Colts, this gives you a little bit of momentum moving forward, because if they could continue to play like that, they have a chance at least to contend. But all comes down to how well the offensive line holds up for Justin Herbert. But seeing how dominant that defense did against Pittsburgh, I think this was Aaron Rodgers' worst game this season. Look at the stats: 16 for 31, 161 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, and then they even got a safety on defense. And shout out to Khalil Mack. Always got love for Khalil Mack. It was a nice swim move too. The way he got that sack. So that was huge. And then seeing offensively, Justin Herbert being able to rely on McConkey. He almost had I don't know how many yards it would have been. He almost had one to the house, but Jalen Ramsey caught up to him. So I think overall a solid defensive performance from the Chargers, and just it was all downhill for the Steelers. And Aaron Rodgers, his age started to show in this game, but it just goes to show that it's any given Sunday at the end of the day. So solid win for the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, we got some not related to the AFC, but just some really interesting breaking news here from Jay Glazer, who says Eagles cornerback Jair Alexander is officially stepping away from football, man. So hopefully all is good with him. That guy was like one of the best corners in the league at one time with the Packers, and then goes to the Ravens, doesn't work out, goes to the Eagles and doesn't work out. So, and hopefully all is good with him. But Ryan, let's go on up to you. Finish us off with this game. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it showed a lot of fight from the Chargers given their injury situation. And even our O-line in Denver is much better than what you guys have over there. And I'm sure you guys would be playing even better offensively if Herbert wasn't having to run every single time. Because, the few games I've been watching the season of the Chargers, he does run a lot for a guy that, I mean, he can run, but he doesn't look like he should be. And I think nor do the Chargers want him to, especially when we look at Jaden Daniels and now Jackson Dart with their injuries. That's also why Broncos country, Sean doesn't want Bo to run, and he's not making him run unless he really, truly has to, because that can happen to your QB. But anyways, your defense looked very, very good. Rodgers had his worst game. I was very surprised. I thought it was gonna be a lot more of a competitive game. I mean, I guess it kind of was in the first half. But I would say that was more of just ugly. But credit to the Chargers, but like, I don't know, man, those injuries, like I want to be afraid of you guys being right behind us, but I feel like you can only win so much with that offensive line in those injuries, especially with Joe Alt being out for the rest of the season. I think that kind of right there is the nail in the coffin. If you guys can continue to like pump out more games and even, or pump out more wins and suppress the Chiefs from getting into the playoffs, listen, I'm all for it. But in terms of the postseason, I don't know, given your situation, if you guys are healthy, I would say like sky's the limit, but given your situation, I don't see you guys do much of the offseason or in the playoffs if you do get there.
Hey, man, sometimes all you got to do is get to the dance, right? And when you start dancing, as long as you bust out your best moves, it can take you far, man. But only time is going to tell. This is where we kick it off to you guys. What were your thoughts on Week 10? Let us know in the comment section below. Time to transition on over to Week 11. But before we do that, of course, want to give a big shout out to the other sponsor of today's video over at RotoWire. If you guys don't know RotoWire, we talked about them early on, when we first started, this channel back in August, September. And that's back when we were telling you, if you want to dominate your fantasy leagues, go ahead and go on over to RotoWire. They're going to plug you in and they're going to tell you how you can dominate. But now they're telling you how you can dominate on your parlays, on your picks every single week to make sure that you are not losing money, but you're gaining money. What RotoWire will do here is they are going to tell you the lines that they like for you to take the over on or the under on. For example, this week, they want you to take the under on DeMario Douglas receiving yards for 27.5. They also want you to take the under on Joe Flacco passing yards on 274.5. RotoWire is going to make sure that you are completely knowledgeable about your picks before you make them so that you make sure that you are getting your money's worth and, of course, not losing out on any money. And because you guys are watching the AFC West Roundtable show brought to you by Roundtable Sports, we got an exclusive offer for you where you can get 15% off using promo code RTS, but link in the description. As always, play responsibly. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and let's get here into your previews and predictions for Week 11. Got to start off with the game of the week, of course, for the division. Big in-division game. Kansas City Chiefs coming off a bye week, a little bit of preparation, a little bit of extra time to get healthy. Denver Broncos, of course, coming off of a close win against another in-division rival in the Raiders. And so, Ryan, let's kick this one off to you. What are you thinking about this one?
Listen. Ladies first. Marcus, you can go first.
Marcus, guess you're going first, Marcus. All right.
Wow.
Top of the division.
Well, I guess he's paying respects to the team that's owned the division, so I guess it is right. So, Ryan,
okay.
He respects them. All right, so I'll just go with this. So, historically, Andy Reid off a bye week, 22-4 historically. Just get that out of the way. Last 19 matchups between Chiefs, Broncos. Chiefs are 17-2 in those last 19 matchups. This is one that I just pulled earlier. Patrick Mahomes, in the Patrick Mahomes era, the Chiefs have only lost one time going into a bye week. And then coming out, that was the famous game against the Rams, that Monday night game, which was like 50-50, where we lost to the Rams. Went to the bye week, came out of the bye week, beat the Raiders at Oakland at the time, 40-33. So 1-0 when Patrick Mahomes loses a game going into the bye week, on top of Andy Reid's ridiculous bye week record all time. And yeah, I mean, this game, like it's one of those things, right? It's a great defense for the Broncos. I mean, just trying to look at anything, any kind of edge we have. Man, there's a top in almost every metric defensively. The one thing I'll say is they are susceptible. I mean, if you look at the Giants game, for example, that game they were able to utilize their tight ends against the Broncos with Theo Johnson had a good game and Bellinger had a good game. Big plays in that game. I mean, there were 7 plays of 20 or more yards in that game. And if you look at the Chiefs metrics this year, as far as explosive plays, we are amongst that, I think, top 5 in explosive plays this year. And that's something we can exploit against the Giants. And the Giants are against the Broncos. Broncos don't have Surtain this week. Is Alex Singleton not playing in this game?
He's not playing either.
He's not playing in this game.
So Singleton and Dobbins will be out. Yeah.
And that to me, obviously, and you guys have a great defense without Surtain, as you showed last week. I just think this game, and then you talk about the numbers I mentioned earlier about all the offensive woes that the Broncos have. I think Spags is a guy whose name's popped up in the Giants head coaching search. I feel like not only has Andy Reid had 2 weeks to prepare, you have Spagnuolo has 2 weeks to prepare, and he didn't have the best game against the Buffalo Bills the last time we saw our defense out there. I think he'll have whip up something against Bo Nix. Again, the last time we saw Bo Nix, our defense that we actually saw with our starters was like midway through the year last year, because the game at the end of the season, that was like our 3s and 4s playing in that game. That wasn't any of our it was very vanilla defense we played in that game. So it's been a while. So Bo Nix really hasn't had many looks against the Spags defense. I just think all in all, and I mentioned earlier, we need this game more than the Broncos do. Broncos are 8-2. They're riding high in Mile High. We are going to come into this game focused, coming off a bye with a big game plan to kind of go at this Denver team. I mean, and like I said, Denver can afford to lose a game as they are 8-2. We 5-4. We the window's closing each week. So I do think we come in and win this game in a close one, like 27-21 is where I'm feeling with this game. I do think the urgency's there. If you heard Pat speak at the podium last week and you heard Kelsey on his podcast, they all know that like we're 5-4 now. It's time to buck up. And I think this is the game to start off a winning streak here in Denver. So Chiefs 27-21.
All right. Marcus is going to take his Chiefs. Ryan, let's go back on up to you. What do you think is going to happen in this one?
Man, so I was pretty confident about this game earlier in the week before, Alex Singleton was they announced that he was going to be out. And then before Dobbins' injury came up as well, because after the game, no one really heard much. Like we saw the play happen, which was a hip drop tackle, which they didn't find the player that made that tackle, but they're going to fine and suspend Greenlaw for a game for some words that he said to a ref, whatever. NFL, you guys are pansies over there, but whatever. I mean, I guess you don't review film, but back to the game. My biggest concern defensively is not that Pat's going to be out, because I think last week or even the week before, we've proven that, we got the guys to at least hold it steady for a little bit. But it's the fact that Alex Singleton, he may not be the most physically gifted guy after his ACL tear, but just from Vance Joseph's words, how he's basically VJ's eyes and ears on the field. Like he's an extension of VJ because he wears the green dot. Singleton wears the green dot. So it's going to be most likely Greenlaw, I think, or maybe Stranad. Like those are going to be the 2 starting linebackers. And we'll obviously see more of Greenlaw now because he's been kind of on a limited snap count, but he could play more. But I think Stranad, since he's been with the team for the longest, is going to be wearing that green dot. So that's kind of my concern there, is the communication of the defense. So if they don't look like they're on par or like they usually are each week, I'm just going to immediately just assume that's the issue. And then Dobbins being out doesn't concern me as much because Harvey has looked pretty solid. And I think it may be also the case of the Patriots with Travion Henderson, where they're just keeping him, they're just holding him back for a little bit until ultimately injuries just we're like, all right, we got to put you out there. And I think he'll perform well. Jaleel McLaughlin's been a healthy scratch. And while he's not necessarily J.K. Dobbins or R.J. Harvey, he's a solid back, and he helped us out a lot last year and the year before that. And I think Tyler Bidet is good, when it's not obvious that he's just going to get a screen or it's just a passing play and he's there for pass protection is pretty much a dead giveaway. So I'm still confident in our depth with the running backs. But I don't know. I think the Broncos will still win. And I say that because we've been good. I think we're undefeated at home this whole entire season. I think even going back a couple of games in the last season. So our home field advantage has been strong. I think Bo will bounce back, not throw 400 yards or anything, or maybe not even 300, but I think he's just going to be more of a point guard as he should have been with this offense, and not make as many mistakes. And I'm not too worried about Kansas City's defense in Spagnuolo. Respect to him, but I think Sean Payton just knows how to play his defense very well and the right place to run and just how to stay in the game. And ultimately, I think the guys will rally for Alex Singleton because I don't know if you guys saw, but the reason why he's not playing is because he had testicular cancer. They saw a tumor and they removed it, and I guess a lot of guys are saying that's juicing them up to play this game for him because he played the game on Thursday night knowing he was going to get surgery the following morning, and he even did like a hold my balls celebration in the Raiders game. So Alex Singleton's a dog, man. Love him, even though sometimes he makes some mistakes, but I think this team's got a chip on their shoulder, especially after having that terrible performance against the Raiders, to go out there and have a good performance in all three phases.
Well, let's go ahead and let's see what the rest of the panel has to think about a big in-division matchup like this. Andrew, let's go on over to you because, look, hey, we love you, Small. No disrespect to you. Obviously, this game doesn't exactly affect you no matter who wins or who loses, but, Andrew, this one does affect you. This one does affect you a little bit more. And so who do you think wins this game, but also who do you want to win this game?
Thanks for playing, Samoan. We appreciate you being here, buddy. Anyways, you're here for emotional support for Ryan.
You're that guy in like Super Mario where you just bubble the whole time so that in case somebody dies, you're still there.
We're here, guys. We're here.
So I'm going to pick the Chiefs for this game. And really, I'm only going to pick that largely because they have more momentum over the Broncos. The Broncos have been squeaking by. Like, the Jets should have beat you guys. I could go to like 4 games. You should have lost. At the end of the day, a win is a win. You guys are 8-2. It is what it is. Kudos to you guys. But you're finally moving into the hard part of your schedule. And again, I think you played a lot of easier teams up to this point. Well, I wouldn't say easier, but you squeaked by some teams you should have beaten handedly. Like the Jets, a great example. Jets just screwed that one up at the end. So I think that you play the Chiefs twice. So the Chiefs have plenty of opportunity to catch up to you guys specifically. So look, I think the Chiefs they're actually clicking on all cylinders. They're very good off of a bye week. It's Andy Reid, it's Patrick Mahomes, and again, it's going to be tight. I like at the end of the day, you'll still make a playoffs, right? For sure. So hopefully you'll be playing well into the playoffs. But bottom line, it's going to be 3 teams. I said at the beginning of the season, 3-horse race: Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos. I'm predicting you guys are going to end up third in the division, but you'll make the playoffs as well too. So, but bottom line, look, I just think the Chiefs are ready. I think they're finally back on track and they're highly motivated. And the Broncos don't look good, man. I mean, your defense keeps you into every single game moving forward. I don't have a lot of stats or anything like that, but it's just what I think. So that's my take on it.
All right. And Simone, let's go down to you. Finish us up with this game. What do you think?
Yeah, like Kobe said, I mean, it doesn't really matter to us. Somebody's gonna win, but I think realistically, just seeing how the Broncos played against us and we're bad. I think that game really showed, I guess, how bad the Broncos were more than how bad the Raiders were already. Bad. But I felt like the Chiefs coming off the bye week could definitely take this one, and I think the Broncos defense will put up a fight for sure. It just always comes down to that offense and Bo Nix and how well they play. If they can match that same energy. But it's going to be a good matchup. I think it's going to be competitive, but at the end of the day, I got the Chiefs winning this one.
All right, Simone's got the Chiefs winning this one. This is where we kick it off to you guys. Who do you think is going to win this big in-division game? Let us know in the comment section below. And guys, let's go ahead and let's head on over to the next game because, Andrew, you guys are playing the Jacksonville Jags. The Jags who, Marcus, I think they're a bit of a confusing team, right? Like they'll go out and they'll beat the Chiefs. in a crazy fashion that you don't expect them to, but then they're also going to lose games you don't expect them to. They obviously just got you Kobe Myers too, and so a guy that you guys are familiar with that gives them a little bit of extra juice on the offensive side of the football. And so, Andrew, what are you expecting to happen in this one?
Good question. I'll say it to you this way: if we can run the ball like we did these past few games, and the defense looks the way we past few games, it should be a cakewalk. Having said that, I feel like the Chargers always seem to have these games where they just sort of struggle. I have never been a person that really believes that moving from West Coast to East Coast and, the whole time difference really affects the teams. My brother James, the other podcaster that comes on for the Bowl Bros, he seems to think that really matters. So we'll see. Again, we have history with the Jags. Remember, we played them in the playoffs, and they came back in spectacular fashion and beat us in the playoffs, which to this day, was like a biggest kick in the freaking pills I've ever seen in my entire life. Having said that, I think the Chargers are finally moving the right direction. Travis Hunter is out for the season. I know that's interesting. I think Jack Kennedy just made that comment. And, bottom line, I think if the Chargers play the game that we've played these past few games, I think we'll definitely win this one. I think it'll be a close one. I think Chargers win by 3. I just really think we're clicking. The interesting thing, too, is we talk about all these injuries. Omarion Hampton will be back after the bye. So he will be back after the bye week, which is after the Jags game. So if we can beat the Jags, get Omarion Hampton back, we'll have a true 1-2 running back combination with a really horrible offensive line. Who knows how that's going to play out. During the bye, maybe Trevor Penning steals a spot. We'll see how that plays out. But look, I just think that the Chargers are running a nice bit of momentum at this moment. So I'm really hopeful that we get the W. I think the Chargers by 3 is my take, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, Andrew's going to take his Chargers by 3. Marcus, let's go down to you. Who are you going to take?
This team is something else, man. I do think them playing in Duval definitely gives them an edge. They're 3-point dogs at home. 75% of the money is on the Chargers in this game. Again, I have, just seeing what I saw when they played us, they brought the heat for that game. We should have won without Mahomes' bullshit pick 6. We win that game. But I don't know. I know the Chargers did what they did against Pittsburgh last week, and they looked phenomenal. And I think maybe it's more about the offensive line of the Steelers and your dominant defensive front. I do think it's a low-scoring game. Man, the Jaguars losing to Davis Mills last week. That makes absolutely no sense. God. I'll go Jaguars in a close one. Nothing surprises me with the Jaguars, man. They can like you said, they can be a great team and then lose to a really shitty team. But I think being in Duval may make the difference there. So I think they pull an edge out of victory, small one.
All righty, let's go on over to Simone. Who do you think wins this one?
Yeah, I mean, we played the Jaguars a couple weeks ago and we almost had their number. But seeing what they did this past week, like everybody's been saying, we don't know what to expect out of the Jacksonville Jaguars, at least for the Chargers coming off of a strong win. Like I said earlier, they got some momentum right now, at least defensively, to hold up against the Jaguars. It just all depends on Justin Herbert and the offensive line. But from what we've seen so far, he's been able to at least keep it consistent for the most part. So I got the Chargers edging this one out. Even going to the East Coast, they should be able to win this game, but you just never know which team's going to show up. But I just think that the Chargers just a little bit too much for the Jaguars in this week's matchup.
All right. Well, it looks like we got a lot of love for the Chargers. Ryan, do you also have love for the Chargers, or are you going to ride with the hot hand again?
Do you guys know have you guys seen that video of that dude named like Wee Hoopin? Like I think he's a Ravens fan, and he was on a live stream, and he's just like, the Jags after his Ravens lost to the Jags. Yeah, it's gonna be the Chargers this weekend. It's gonna be all the Chargers fans because I'm taking the Jags. I don't know, like Marcus said, I don't know what the hell it is with this team, but they lose last week, or they almost lose to the Raiders. Yet they're also in a dogfight and get the dub against the Chiefs. This is one of those teams, it's just, I guess they just match up well against certain teams. And given the injuries with the Chargers, I think the Chargers are very week to week based on who they're matching up against. based on the current injuries that they have, is ultimately how I think like the rest of the season is going to go for you guys, especially with Joe Alt being out. And I just think the Jaguars, they're a physical team. They're a very, very physical team. Not saying that the Chargers aren't, but like I said, injuries. So I'm going to take the Jags. I guess they're just playing the AFC West very well this year as well. At least with the Chargers and Raiders, it's looked like that. But yeah, I'm going to take the Jags with this one.
All right, Ryan loves the hot hand, and he's going to take the Jags in this one. Let's go ahead and let's get into the final game here of the week for Week 11.
Prime time.
This is prime time, baby. This is where we kick it off too. I mean,
in front of the millions and millions of fans at
Please
home,
tell
man.
me it's Monday Night Football so that I don't have to see it because I have YouTube TV.
They need to rotate that one out of prime time. That's for sure.
No excuse for the offense this week, Samoa.
I mean, come on now.
Hey, the best thing about this is that we got a long break. I'll take it though. But
it is,
prime time. I feel like the lights are gonna come on, man. We gonna play a little different. I think last week was just because we were playing the Broncos, but this week, coming off of a long week of just practicing and whatnot. Max Crosby feeling good. He called out Aqib Talib today. I feel like Pete Carroll got everybody in order. It's gonna be a big matchup. Offensively. Of course, the Dallas Cowboys have a real high-powered offense. Defensively, anybody could score on them, I guess, from what I've seen these past couple of weeks. Then you go back to the Raiders' offense. We haven't been really scoring that much anyway. So I think it's going to come down defensively and how well our defense does against them, because we can at least bank on them to show up. As far as the offense, this is going to be a big, big game for Geno Smith and seeing what Ashton Jensen can do, especially with an offensive line that's really banged up right now with no JPJ, no Dylan Parham. I'm kind of nervous about this one. I think my heart says the Raiders for sure, but I don't feel like we could. I don't think the offense is good enough to win this game. Then again, it just goes back to how much we utilize Brock Bowers in this game against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, they are one of the worst defenses in the NFL, so if Chip Kelly and the offense wants to show up, then I think we have a chance. But overall, realistically, I guess taking my Raider cap off, I got the Cowboys winning this one.
Taking his
It should be interesting though.
Off,
hopefully interesting. But I'll be there hoping for a win, man.
Cap off, man. Hoping for a win, but thinking it probably won't be. Ryan, let's go on up to who do you think wins this one?
You may be going up against a terrible defense, but you're not going up against a poor offense. So I think this week the Cowboys are just going to shred you guys. Offense, like they're going to shred up your defense, but I mean, they also have a terrible defense. So maybe it is close. Maybe you guys are able to do some stuff. I expect Brock Bowers to have a big game and actually get targeted well. So I'm gonna take the Cowboys though. I'm still gonna take the Cowboys. I just think 2 wins. You see that 2-7? Yeah, that 2 is not going to change for the rest of the season for you guys.
Yeah, I think if Bo Nix can light up the defense, the Dallas's defense, I think Geno can do the same thing though.
Yeah, that's not true. Yeah, that's not true. Yeah, you know in your heart that's not true.
Dallas got now though.
Yeah. They're sixes, bro. They're sixes.
You can't forget about that, man. I mean, who knows?
They're in the same tier. We're on the same tier, guys. Man.
Maybe those 2 players for Dallas can make a difference to that defense. Logan Wilson's a dog. Quentin Williams is a dog, man. Only time.
Oh, they did get those guys. I forgot.
They get those guys at the deadline, man. Those guys are good impact players. But Andrew, let's go on over to you. Who are you taking?
Samoan, I really like you, buddy. I want to pick the Raiders. I really do, dude.
Then do it.
I do, but I can't.
Do it.
I can't. No, here's the thing. I'll say this: like Cowboys have a horrible, horrible defense, and I'll say this: the Raiders have looked pretty good defensively, right?
Yeah.
But the Cowboys have a pretty good offense, and the Raiders have a really bad offense, right? So I mean, Geno's not great. Look, I'm picking a shootout, and I think the Cowboys win by 3.5. I mean, that's 3.5, whatever. The Raiders don't know how to win right now. I don't know if it's a locker room issue or it's a across the board issue. I don't know if they have the right people. I don't know if they have the right scheme. Chip Kelly, I think, probably is losing a lot of his offensive players. Geno Smith doesn't seem motivated anymore. I even heard that he faked an injury last week. He didn't want to play anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, he faked his quad injury or whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, he faked it. He didn't want to go back out and play. So I mean, whether it's true or not, I have no idea. But, bottom line, I don't know. I think the Cowboys are going to be there. Just so you know, I'm probably not going to watch the game. But I'll just say this. I think the Cowboys are going to win.
That's good for you. That's good for you.
Shout out Disney and ESPN. I can't watch.
There you go.
Thank you guys.
Rotate that game out. Nobody cares.
Hey, I don't think he faked it because he really wanted to play, and a lot of Raider fans wanted him to sit down, but he continued to come in the game. I was like, damn, Kenny can't get no shine out there.
No, but did you hear that he was faking an injury, some sort of quad injury or something like that? Someone said he faked it.
Oh no! But he actually looked better. He actually looked better on the field after he got banged up though. So I don't know. Maybe Perk Geno's a little different than a regular.
There we go. He's running for his life. He doesn't want to stay hurt. Yeah, I get it.
Well, let's go down to Marcus. Marcus, wrap us up here with today's video. You just gonna make this Cowboys too?
I think it would be the only person. I think it would be the only person who picks the Raiders this week.
Wow.
Marcus always holding it down for the nation. Let's go.
I think. I mean, this is strictly a.
I didn't even pick the Raiders.
I was surprised you didn't.
I know.
I think the Raiders found something last week. I know the Broncos. It's a much worse offense than the Dallas offense, but I think the Raiders found something last week and kind of, although it was a loss, probably a moral victory for those guys. So I think they may carry that over into this game against Dallas, primetime game. I mean, the numbers are kind of staggering as far as the betting numbers here. So 87% of the money line is on Dallas. It's only a 3.5 point spread. It's almost 90% of the money is on Dallas to just win straight up. And then 82% of the money is on Dallas to win as a spread. Which to me, that's a red flag. It's only 3.5 points here. I'm going to go Raiders to win outright. And I do think it's going to be a shootout. The over-under is the highest total of the week at 50.5. So it could be a shootout game on Monday night. So you guys are missing out on a Monday night game. You got to watch this game, right?
Prime time, guys.
Well, you got to figure out a way to illegally stream this, man.
I mean, if I got nothing better to do, but I'm sure I can find something better to do.
Well, Marcus is going to pick the Cowboys. This is where we kick it off to you guys. What are your thoughts about this game? What are your thoughts about all these games in Week 11? Let us know who you guys are taking in the comment section below so that we can come back and look at them next week when we break down everything that happened in Week 11 and preview Week 12. On your way out, make sure you guys hit that big thumbs up button. Help support us massively here at the AFC West Roundtable. If you guys want to support us, it's the best way to do so. It's completely free and it takes less than a second. Of course, make sure to subscribe to the AFC West Roundtable so that you get notified every single time we post a video, every single time that we go live, so that you guys can get in on the discussion. And of course, subscribe to each of these guys' individual channels. Links in the description box below. Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. We will see you guys, though, next week. Same time, same place. We appreciate you guys for watching.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, fourth and forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.